Welcome to Backseat Confessions Podcast. Slide into the backseat as we listen to mostly anonymous strangers tell us stories from their lives. I'm a rideshare driver in Atlanta, and the people getting in my car have absolutely no idea I'm going to ask them to share. My commitment to you is to tell at least a snippet of virtually every story recorded in my car in the order they were told to me. My hope is that you laugh, cringe, cry, but mostly connect to these amazing people. You may find a piece of your own story or just feel more connected to the rest of us. Join us, won't you? So, hey, my new friend. This is an adult podcast. Themes and languages are definitely not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised. Well, how in the world are you? Have you had anything story-worthy happen to you lately? If so, was it more on the laugh side or the sad side? Or maybe it was just interesting. Well, if so, hopefully you've gotten a chance to tell somebody all about it. But for now, you can just sit back and let today's riders regale you with stories of their own. Oh, and quick cool fact is that we pass our 100th story mark on this drive. Pretty sweet. Our first rider has an encouraging message about how to face challenge and difficulties and yet keep our faith rather than letting ourselves become overwhelmed and just give up.
Story number 99. Monday, January 4th, 2021, 9:29 p.m.
I'm not the holy then thou person.
Right.
It's just certain things I know is God, and I know He do certain things to get our attention.
Yeah.
And I went from staying in my car to when I get a little extra dollars that I feel like I want to spend on a room, not by choice, because I was funding my car. I had a computer.
Yep.
I had my Hulu. I was fine.
Yeah,
you know? So with that being said, you never look at your situation as worse, because there was plenty of times people didn't have a car.
Yeah.
Now that my son toured my car, was blessed with a hotel room that I've been in for the last 3 months.
Nice.
I've been blessed with a job. I came here and baby, this your exit.
Oh, okay.
When I came here, I came here with intentions. I worked for an eye institute. I came here to work for another eye institute. Well, COVID started.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the end. I really didn't want to go back to Savannah. But I'm here. Everything's working out. I have peace of mind. I'm about to move again. I have 3 cars now.
Wow.
They may be a little broken and little minor stuff, but I have them.
Yes, ma'am.
So with that, I just like to encourage people that your hardships, you let that be your motivation. You let that be the reason that you keep pushing. That be the reason that for your grandkids, your kids, to show them that type of strength, because at some point they're gonna go through it. I don't care what get, what you do for them.
Yeah,
they're gonna go through some hardships. You don't want them growing up with the ones I can't have you, nobody can. You don't want them having that I'm gonna kill myself because things not right. It's just a lot of things that people need to be embracing their hardships.
Yeah. Wow.
And seeing where they're taking you. or
Yeah.
what lesson is there for you to learn?
I love it.
I mean, that's really all I got.
I love
Is for a lot of people that's losing because of hardships. It's a trick of the enemy,
Yeah.
and you can't let them win. You keep your faith.
Yeah.
And I actually just posted a prayer, a simple prayer. It was, "Dear Papa God, thank you for forgiving me for not trusting in you. Thank you for giving me a chance to trust again." Amen. That's all I say. And with that being said, I hope I touch somebody with this message, with this story, and they keep pushing from it.
There you go. Thank you so much for sharing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I do think her message is important. I know I wasn't raised with the idea that life involved a lot of pain and struggle, so it seemed like a big letdown to me when those things came later in life. Becoming a person of grit and fortitude and faith are some of the most noble pursuits I can imagine. This gentleman shares about how he had been with a woman that he really liked and made a baby with her. But now the relationship is broken. We pick up in the conversation where I go a little bit deeper and I dig into what all happened to cause the breakup and how he's doing now.
Story number 100. Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, 12:33 a.m.
CJ, my question for you, two questions actually. One is, if you don't mind sharing, what was the main cause or maybe main causes of the breakup?
Now, this is where the story may seem not awkward, but I guess funny.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
I am the cause of the breakup.
Okay, fair.
And me growing and being a man,
Yes, sir.
accepting what I done,
Yeah.
I kind of drove her away.
Okay, yeah.
And
Tell me
it's
about that.
being young,
Yeah.
you know, trying to, oh, okay, it's some over here, some over there, you know, like
Yeah.
that doesn't amount to anything when you don't have anything.
Wow.
And you're
yeah.
trying to build and you're trying to grow.
Yeah. That's
You're
true.
wasting time, and she's getting older, you're getting older, and
Yeah.
eventually, you know, you have to start somewhere to build and
Yeah.
accept what you've done to somebody,
Yeah.
and you just have to let them go on,
Yes.
and you can't be bitter
Yeah.
or mad. Now, honestly, I have been hurt,
Yeah.
but it's only because of what I done to her.
Sure. Okay.
It
Yeah.
ain't much as what she done to me, because it's actually turned out to be where it's kind of like a retaliation type of deal.
Okay. Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the funny part.
Yeah.
She pulled the same thing out. She pulled a me on me.
Okay.
In other
Okay.
words.
And I'm assuming it was like, was it with someone you knew or just?
No.
Okay.
It's somebody that she met.
Okay, so it wasn't like she did. Because some girls will do purposely. They'll go after like a friend just to make it hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Worse, right? They'll do the revenge sex that way. But okay, so yeah, that and yeah, I know as a young guy, man, it's like that's. But at least you're learning your lesson, bro. And right, that's how you gain wisdom is through.
That's what it's about,
Through
man.
life.
Learning, growing,
Yeah.
and becoming better, wiser.
Yes.
And the object is to be stable.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's what it really boils down to.
Right.
And the quicker you accept what you done,
Yeah.
the better off you'll be. If you can't accept it, you'll hold a grudge.
Yeah. That's
And
so good.
you'll hate the person, and you'll hate yourself, and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
not going to get you anywhere.
No, it won't. That's so good. Taking responsibility for your actions, being a man,
Yeah.
and then
That's right.
and then forgiving yourself. Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And it's
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, about my heart.
Yeah, that was my second question. Is like, yeah, how's your heart?
My heart is it's in a better place now, man. Like I'm happy.
Wow.
I can smile. I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, like we don't communicate. Yeah. We don't communicate.
Right.
But if she does call,
yeah,
I'm not gonna, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna talk to her.
And that's where you were talking about not being petty, just being kind.
Yeah, like I have no hatred towards her, because at the end of the day, the hatred that I could showcase towards her is only gonna harm me.
That's right.
In the end, because now it's gonna be axe, a grudge, whatever, a staple between me and my daughter.
That's right. And that dude,
I don't want that.
No.
I want to be able to show my daughter I'm there for her, I'm here, and there's no problem between me and mommy. Now, awesome. My daughter gets older and she asks me, Daddy, what happened? I gotta answer that.
That's right.
And I'm gonna tell her, and I'm just let it all out. Like,
that's it.
Mom's not a bad person.
No.
Dad's not a bad person.
No.
Dad was just an idiot doing stupid things at a young age, not realizing. Yeah. And your mom got tired of it.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can put on a woman.
Yeah.
And especially if she has, I was telling you earlier, intention that she come down here to get herself together. And that didn't do nothing but make her go full force with her plan from the beginning.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that's what it boils down to, man.
Well, it's not a fairy tale ending, but I will say, in terms of real life, I think I said it before, I'm proud of you stepping up, being a man, owning your junk, and I'll say it again, but like I love how you are so intentional about being a dad, and I can tell you from experience, it is the hardest and the greatest thing you'll ever do.
Man, that is like the best thing I have.
Yeah.
That is beyond measures of like anything. Like being a dad, showing your child. Yeah. Like right now we're in potty training stages, and it's crazy, man, because it's like she wants to get on top of the toilet just to flush it. Like that's what she looks forward to, flushing it.
Yeah.
And it's like she's just, oh man, bottles of water. She likes to drink them on her own. She don't need no help.
Oh man. She's really trying to become a little independent.
Yeah, we got her this little 4-wheeler power wheel, right?
Yep.
So she loves when Dad comes around and pick up the back end and spin around like a donut. She gets so in her feelings when I don't. Aww. But she's strong enough to turn it herself. Like she would do it if I don't. But it's like, it's just amazing just looking at her. Like she's amazing and funny. Funny, man. She's funny.
That's so good. Well, do whatever you got to do to stay in her life. That's the most rewarding thing. So, bro, thank you so much for sharing your story and your heart, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Sir. I hope many more.
Yes, thank you. I believe that it is especially important for us as men, and particularly young men, to accept responsibility for our actions and to try to learn and grow from them. I applaud how well he owned his part in breaking the relationship and how he was dealing with the hurt of being left. Because even if we are the main cause of a split, emotionally, it's still painful to feel rejection. But most importantly, I love the way he loves being a dad. One of the great gifts in life is to be a girl dad. So freaking beautiful. Some people have such strength in the face of hardship that it is almost difficult to comprehend. This next writer shares these painful and private struggles with so much dignity and grace.
Story number 101. Friday, January 8, 2021, 3:28 a.m.
a story from back in 2017.
Okay.
I was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't tell anyone. I was trying to keep it a secret because my mom always told me, you can't raise no babies in this house.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, can't raise no babies in this house. I got to figure out what I'm going to do.
Yes, ma'am.
So one day I was driving my mom, and I just threw up like all on myself. And she was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, no. And she was like, get out. So that same day I went to the Megabus here in Atlanta.
Yes.
And I bought a ticket to Memphis, but I got off in Tupelo because that's where my family is. However, when we got on the bus, by the time we made it to Birmingham, I started to miscarry.
Oh.
And it was a group of old ladies on the bus that prayed with me, and they held my hand. And I didn't even know what was going on because it was my first miscarriage.
Wow.
And I just felt like I was by myself, like I was so alone because my mom had kicked me out.
Wow.
Because I was pregnant, and here I am losing the reason. You know, it was so complicated. So by the time we made it to Birmingham, I literally had to get my luggage and go in the bathroom and wash myself up and change clothes. And I had to get back on the bus because I had to make it to Mississippi. This was a 4-hour ride.
Oh, wow.
I was in pain. I had never felt pain like that before. By the time I made it to Tupelo, my cousin, she met me at the Love station, and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I think I'm having a miscarriage. And I still didn't go to the hospital because at that point I was ashamed and embarrassed. So we went to her house, and she was a CNA, so she kind of just knew a couple of things, but you know, we did it there, and that's something that I really never shared with anyone besides her. Like, and that's something that really, really hurt because I know my mom had me at a young age, and no one turned their back on her. So it was like, for me to go through that while that was going on, was tough.
Yeah. You said your mom had you when you were young, and then she kind of turned her back. Do you think there was some, or I should just ask you, why do you think that she would have done that to you?
I think it hurt her feelings for me to try to go. She didn't want to see me follow in those footsteps. I think she wanted better for me, so I think it was disappointment.
So it came from like a place of love and hurt.
Yes, exactly.
But I can't even imagine as a young woman facing this incredible, like that's to be pregnant with your first child is such a massive deal, and to not have your mom there, wow, my heart goes out to you, girl. It was
scary.
Yeah, that's real scary. After you got to Mississippi and Tupelo, you said your cousin, was she able to help you out? I mean, and you said you literally never went to the hospital.
Never went to the hospital. I never went to the hospital. She helped me out.
Yeah.
We did what we need to do. I just laid there, and I'm kind of like a tough cookie. I always look at like, hey, it's just life. It happens. Deal with it. Roll with it.
Yeah.
So I deal with things a little different. Doesn't mean that it doesn't affect me.
Right.
I just keep going because you can't stop.
Yeah.
So I got a job, started working, and I started living life.
Wow. While you were in Mississippi?
While I was in Mississippi.
So then how long have you been back here in Atlanta?
I moved back to Georgia in August of 2020 to take care of my mom because she was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I'm grateful that you were able to come back and be in her life.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Miss D, for sharing. I know that's a painful story, but I'm sure there's other people out there that have something similar. So thank you for opening up and sharing that.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely. It is truly, truly my honor. Bless you. The shame and the pain of having a stillborn baby and not being able to go through that experience with your mom supporting you is just brutal. But this young lady's willingness to forgive and continue to move through life is just beyond inspiring. She truly is a hero in my mind. our next rider has a very relatable story of friendship that either could be, or might, or should be, or maybe shouldn't be, something more than just friends. See if you can relate.
Story number 102. Friday, January 8, 2021, 10:44 p.m.
So freshman year of college, I met my best friend.
Okay.
My best friend, we was super close, hung out every single day. Now, it didn't start off as, no type of lovey-dovey stuff. It was just strictly friendship.
Yes, ma'am.
Towards the end of that freshman year, I started to develop feelings for him.
Yeah.
And whenever he would come to me and talk to me about his friends, his girlfriends not really girlfriends, but girls he was interested in,
right.
I felt some type of way. So
right.
It would get to the point where I would start blocking his number. I would start unfollowing him on social media, and he had no clue.
Right.
He's just clueless. Why is she doing this to me? So I ended up going to a party. I got real drunk, and I ended up confessing my love to him, telling him that I was in love with him. And I kind of felt, crazy, a little stupid at the end, because I didn't know if he felt the same way about me, because it's kind of we brushed it off. We didn't talk about it no more after that. We went right back to being friends.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, he's not giving me no type of attention. He just want to strictly be my friend.
Yeah.
So I started talking to other guys. In the midst of talking to other guys, I did find this other guy that was interesting, and he was very charming.
Mm-hmm.
And my best friend started to get mad in a sense. So while he was getting mad, I'm like, but you don't want to talk to me, or you don't want a relationship with me. So why are you mad that I'm talking to somebody else?
Right.
So then he finally told me, he had mutual feelings for me the same way that I have him. So I was like, okay, bet, maybe we're getting somewhere,
Right.
So I cut off my ties with the guy I was talking to, and I was trying to focus my attention onto my best friend.
Right.
And so my feelings going up and down, because we're still beating around the bush of not really telling each other, oh, okay, we want to date.
Yeah.
So we just beating around the bush.
Right.
So January of 2020 came. We came back to school. Enjoying the new year.
Yep.
Really, we done confessed, we both got mutual feelings. So we okay, let's see if we can take it up a notch.
Right.
He told one of my friends that he wanted to start to ask me out, but he didn't know how, or he wanted to do it at the right time. So I'm like, okay, I was getting real excited. Okay, he finally about to ask me out, and then COVID happened. Corona came in the mix, and
Corona ruined the love.
It ruined a lot. We both went back home. He went back to where he was from. I went back to where I'm from. Mind you, that's a distance apart, almost 10 hours, 13 hours away from each other.
Yeah.
And so we would still communicate on FaceTime and everything, but it just wasn't there anymore. And then we stopped FaceTiming, we stopped talking. So now it's going on months, and we haven't talked. And so that's that story. I'm really sad about it, because I really wanted it to go somewhere, but then I feel like it was God that COVID happened, because maybe we weren't meant to be together. Maybe we are just meant to be friends.
Just friends.
So,
yeah. That can be really tricky, right? If there's someone who's a really good friend to you, but you catch feelings for them, and then trying to sort through, do I risk the friendship for the love? And oh man, that's and there's no easy answer, is there?
No easy answer at all.
Are you guys gonna come back and see each other at college anymore, or is that kind of part of your life over with?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
As I was talking to one of my friends, I told her right now, I have no feelings for him.
Okay.
I see him as a friend, but I feel as though if, she was saying, if we see each other in person, those feelings are going to come back up and escalate again. But as of right now, I I see him as a friend. I don't have any feelings for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's coming back for his school or not.
Okay.
I think he's going to stick to doing school online.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people are doing. Well, I hope you end up finding the guy that, because you're truly you're beautiful and you're smart and
Thank you.
you're all of that. And so I hope you find the guy that says, you know what, Ms. Love, you are worth pursuing, and then you're not sort of like on the fence, because you're worth being pursued.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing your story.
No problem at all. So anybody out there having a love story like mine, just know you're not alone.
Yes.
You're
And
not
that's
alone.
half the purpose of these stories, to let people know that they're not the only one. Wonderful. All right. Life is funny, and you never know why some flames burn bright and others never quite do. Still, I stick with my old school advice for the ladies. If he likes you, he'll let you know. If he's not pursuing you, then chances are pretty darn good that he's just not that into you. So, move along to greener pastures. There are certain jobs that I feel you almost have to be called to do if you want to thrive in it. I love speaking with someone who is working in their calling, because you can just feel their competency and passion for the thing they do. Being a nurse is definitely one of those jobs, and it's one where you hope that the person is there for the right reasons.
Story number 103. Saturday, January 9th, 2021, 4:03 p.m.
So, when I'm an ICU nurse.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen a lot of things from every different spectacle of life.
Right.
I've been in traumas, I've done open heart surgery, I've had medical patients, I've had just coronary patients, just patients who needed my care.
Yeah.
And it never seems to leave me, because it's something that I think that I was born to do.
I was going to say, yeah.
I love taking care of patients. I am a people person, so it just comes natural to me.
Yeah.
I left my job in the hospital to do corporate America. I did it for 5 years. I hated it because I missed my patient contact.
Yeah.
I'm back into the hospital now, where I love it, and I continue to teach nurses how to be good nurses. At this point in my life, I am on the downslope and I'm ready to retire, but I want to make sure also that we have nurses who are out here who are competent and who are really love the art itself, because in order to nurse and do it well, you've got to love the job. And that's why you will see some nurses that are gray. They're still at the bedside because they love it. Everybody don't love it.
Right.
And you have a lot of people going into the field now just because it's a job.
Right.
And it's not because they have the love.
Right.
So they will not be the type of nurses that I would like to teach, because they're there for the money. They're there for what they can get. And unfortunately, they will not be able to provide the care that I feel they would need to provide.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful that someone of your caliber is in the teaching space and is helping to really raise up and mentor, hopefully, like you said, good nurses who feel like they have a passion and calling to that. That's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's huge.
Thank you. So if you know anybody that wants to be a nurse, we always need nurses, and we need people who really have the passion and the call for it, because if we don't have nurses, you cannot run a hospital without nurses. And a lot of times nurses people think that as a nurse, you're just doing what someone tells you to do. No, you have to have the knowledge. You have to be as knowledgeable as the providers, the doctors, because you need to be able to tell them, no, I'm not going to do that because that'll kill that patient.
Wow.
So you have to be a patient advocate.
Do you actually, do you run into that?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And I tell my nurses in the ED all the time, I said, you have to know the difference.
Wow.
Because if he writes that order for you to give something that's going to kill that patient, you need to know that it's going to kill the patient.
Wow. Wait a minute. Wow. Excuse my ignorance, but how can a nurse be more aware of what's going to save or kill a patient's life? That doesn't make, I'm saying from an outsider, this seems crazy.
How can that be? Because a lot of times there are people who go into medical school and become doctors, and I wonder how they actually survive.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't have the education. When you ask me, I've been a nurse almost 40 years.
Wow.
I look at it and I say, oh no, they don't have the education that I think they need. Well, I'm not going to say education. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the experience.
Okay.
They have had the education because they've graduated from our school.
Sure.
But do they have the knowledge that they need to be able to care for these people appropriately?
Wow.
And I question those doctors all the time. And when I was a younger nurse, I always had doctors say, well, I really don't want to take care of work with Vivian because I'm going to question you about it.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, no, I'm not going to do that because that's going to hurt this patient.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good when I would have patients come, the doctors write orders, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And they say, what? I said, I am not going to do that unless you give me an order for X, Y, and Z. And afterwards, the patient would say, thank you, baby, for not letting them kill me.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's really fascinating. I don't know that I've ever heard that perspective before. That's really...
Yeah. So you really have to, you've got to know, you've got to, and I'm glad we have WebMD, you have Mayo, all these different sites. People have to be very informed about their health, about what's going on with them, and don't just take what they tell you.
Yeah.
You need to investigate yourself. If you don't know, try to find someone who knows so that you can make a informed consent decision about what you want done with yourself, because people will tell you have to. You always have a choice. But before you give them that choice, that decision about what you want, investigate.
Love it. I love it.
You have to investigate because, like I said, things happen and people do things. And then sometimes, you have a person who's snuck in and said they're a doctor and really they're nobody, and they've gotten in somebody's facility and here they are practicing like a doctor and have never been to medical school. Really?
That's crazy.
So things happen like that.
Yeah.
But we as people have to be more informed about our health, about our bodies, what we do with our bodies. And when someone says you need to have something done, you need to investigate.
Yeah.
Don't just take it, say, okay, what it is, write it down for me. So that you can go and look, or you can go ask and you can inquire.
That's smart. That's so smart. Yeah, that's really good, because I think that, for many years, people just sort of, well, the doctor said, so we better do it. And I think there's a lot more, people are a lot more likely to ask questions now. Right. So,
and years ago, people did that, but now, no, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, Miss V, thank you for your wisdom and your grace. Yeah, you're an awesome young lady. You look amazing. Like you're beautiful.
Well,
I would never have guessed that you've been practicing for that many years. That's craziness.
Yes, and I am 64. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, as soon as I get off the podcast, I'm gonna buy all your skin cream because for real. Definitely, whatever my regimen is not gonna keep me looking like that when I'm 60. So, thank you though so much for sharing.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I just love her spirit. And I also love that she wants to train up the next generation of nurses. For some reason, I feel like as a society, we don't encourage a lot of mentorship and training inside the workforce. You can, of course, pay to get it outside of the workforce, but this is something special. Plus, the fact that she's such a fierce patient advocate is just so cool. I can almost see this lady's cape. Our next rider wants more from his love interest than she's willing to give. This is the second story this trip where one person in the relationship wants more than the other is willing to commit to.
Story number 104. Saturday, January 9th, 2021, 1:10 a.m.
So, I am in love with this girl.
Okay.
Her name is...
Change it or do a letter.
Her name is the country of India.
Okay.
And
she
wants only me for my sex game.
Okay.
I actually want the longevity game where I would love to have a family.
Wow.
But so she hits me up and she says she's thinking about me and she actually only wants dick.
Wow.
And so when I'm trying to play the long game, but she's like, I'm unavailable, and I'm like, hey, I want to take you out.
Yeah.
But it's just, my life understanding is, some people, she's younger, she's probably like 24.
Okay.
I'm 28 this year.
Nice.
And so what I'm wanting to do is try and make something out of it with what her expectations are not on the same par. So the creative aspect of it is me trying to figure that out and try to make that work, longevity versus just a dick game. So that is my truth.
Yeah.
In today's Uber ride.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Which what's really cool about that is obviously you think of it as traditional swapped male-female roles where the guy just wants to get laid and the girl wants more of the long game. But it's true. You're hitting that point in your life where I love that you're starting to think about like, okay, getting laid is not the only thing, and I love that you're thinking more long term.
That's exactly my mindset, and how that's not what I'm just going for. I could get laid,
of course,
by like all these Tinder women that are not on my level. I would say they're just
super easy.
And I would like her because she's honestly beautiful, but she has a lot of familial problems, and so for me to try to, make those right is just, it may be beyond my capabilities, and so I'm just along for the ride, try and be creative with it.
Yeah. So my one piece of advice is don't try to fix someone, right?
You can't make a whore into a housewife.
Well, and I'm not. I don't want to call anyone a whore, but that's not what it is. It's trying to make them something they're not. If they are not interested in a long-term relationship, you're trying to convince them that that's what they want is probably not the best.
Yeah, she says she wanted me to be her fuck buddy, and she understands how I feel. So it is what it is. We'll just see how it works.
I do love the flipping of the script, where it is the guy that wants more than to just get laid, and the girl is just not about that life. I will say, though, that all of his trying to be creative and figure out how to persuade her to be more than a casual lay is some dicey territory. I hope he goes only as far as he feels is reasonable and then moves along, because I'm sure there is someone out there just waiting to get into a serious relationship as well as he is. Well, I'm personally not a big fan of pranks, but I can admire a well-executed one that doesn't harm anyone. Our last rider of the night pulled off just that.
Story number 105. Saturday, January 9th, 2021, 2:57 a.m.
I was just gonna talk about this one time. I'm from Georgia, so I went to Florida.
Yes.
Met up with some friends. So for some reason, I don't even remember why we did this, but we told everybody that I was a famous baseball player.
Okay.
And that I was basically that I was like, you know, destined to be in the pros, and that was like the next big thing.
Nice.
So basically, we got everybody in the bar to believe it.
Oh, that's amazing, bro.
Everybody thought that I was, you know, the next big thing.
Wow.
So I got at least like 6 or 7 rounds bought,
dude,
just for
that's
me
genius.
for free.
Right to the right?
Yeah. So like
wow.
me and my buddies got free shots like all night just because everybody thought I was the next big thing.
That is a hilarious. And what's great about that prank is there's really no harm, no foul, right?
No harm, no foul. We just got free shots.
You got free shots, and they went home thinking that they actually like met. Like, did you tell me you're a Braves player? I'm assuming.
It was in Florida, so
Okay.
like I think
Right or left,
I think
guys?
we told them right.
Okay.
I think we told them that it was in Texas. I believe.
Perfect. So you kind of just like pick a big state where it's hard to know for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. And they all went home and like, dude, we
Everybody believed it.
That's so great. It's a win-win. Prank was pulled, and the pranksters got the story and laughs, and the prankstees, I'm sure that's a word, got to feel like they met someone famous. It's perfect. Well, this was a classic BCP ride-along today because the range of stories were all over the place. And I love that because our own lives are like this in many ways. If you pay attention, there is a pretty magnificent arc of different situations and emotions that we all experience over the course of a week or especially a month. We experience a lot of the mundane, but we also have the highs and the lows. The moments where we feel the adventure of it all, and the moments where we feel the futility of it all. So my encouragement to everyone is that over the next couple weeks, till we're back again, let's lean into the adventure of life. Obviously, if you're dealing with a deep personal tragedy, you have to let yourself grieve, but please don't stay stuck or just continue looping. Find a way to move forward and get back to that sense of wondering what might be just over the next hill. Ciao, my friends. This is what happens when you are a rideshare driver in Atlanta and ask people for their stories. These weren't handpicked people with great stories. They just happened to get in my car and be gracious enough to share with all of us. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be in Atlanta and need to grab a rideshare and end up telling the rest of us the next great story on BCP. I'd actually encourage you to, every so often, just ask a stranger to share a story from their life. You never know what you might learn. I believe that our stories are powerful. They can make you laugh, cringe, cry, or even get you to think or feel differently. Our stories can truly make this world a little bit better place. So please, subscribe, rate, and listen to this podcast and share it with as many adults as possible. It would mean so much to me. First and foremost, I want to thank the incredible writers who trusted me with your stories. You're my heroes. Thanks also to all the people in the background who have believed in this project/dream. All of the music on this podcast was found on pixabay.com, and it was free, which is an amazing gift when you're starting a podcast on a shoestring budget.